That definitely didn't work. I tried to do a live stream of this, but my connection isn't the greatest unless I'm inside. So that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get a fire started for us real quick. That is not a requirement when skinning a deer, but though it is not required, nor is it any kind of necessity.
It's something that I typically do when I'm out here and skinning deer. Alright, this is already taking a little longer than I expected, but we're about ready now. There we go. There we go.
We'll post the video up, and the Lord will allow the people who need to see it to see it. I am faithful of that. So, that's what we're looking for. Here's the thing. I'm sure that everybody's got their own way to skin a deer. This is the way I was taught. I believe that it's the easiest. So if you've got a better way, you can share that way. And that is your First Amendment right to do. I'm not gonna block your right to do that, but there's certainly nothing wrong about this way to do it. So that's the way I'm gonna show it. And I'm just gonna try to go get into it and go quickly. This is True Steel, or I think it's called, or True Blade. I got it for Christmas 2 days ago.
Using it for the first time, yeah, True Blade. It's like a patented design on there for the knife. It's very sharp, so I'll be giving that a shot.
So you're gonna want to get this part of the deer, go right through it, and then you're going to go up about 2 inches like that. See that? And then you're gonna do the same on this side over here. Okay. I wonder if the rut's in already. The rut is the time that they breed. So anyway, we got that. This is very important. If you don't have one of these, there's other ways to skin it on the ground. Maybe I'll do a ground skin video for you guys one day, but if you have one of these here, there is no point in skinning this thing on the ground. So I'm gonna be getting this deer up. The only step that I've done is that first 2 incisions right here on the back legs. So that's gonna be right here. You can see my fingers can go completely through the leg right here. See? And so each of these goes through like that.
And we'll try it to get that some of the gun in. There we go. Okay. And I'm ready to teach people how to skin a deer. Anything like it. If they didn't know how. In situations where they need to. I don't need to teach people to do that. I don't know if that's a long time.
Look at that shot. Not to brag, but I say that's pretty fine if I do say so myself. I gotta remember that I can't be rough on that. You see that little branch? I mean, it's a lot of weight for that thing. Probably not smart on my end, but we'll be taking weight off of it in no time.
I'm gonna move this chair in and put a phone in a much better place for you guys. Hopefully it won't die on me. But
Yeah, those lever system things, you just type in deer cleaning or deer skinning hanger or pulley, and you're wanting the whole setup like this. It's that in combination with that. You see where I tied it around the tree over there, and that's the system that we got going on. And that just makes the whole process of cleaning the deer and everything that we do with this so much easier. Keep accidentally restarting this thing. The goal here is to get this to where a person could watch this video and have never skinned a deer before, but watch it closely enough, even without my voice talking, that they could see exactly what needs to be done to get this thing taken care of. So like I said, we're using that true blade. Yep, true blade. We're just gonna start up here at the top. Well, actually, one thing that you can go ahead and do first, because sometimes if I don't do it first, I'll end up forgetting. I'm just cutting this vine. There we go. You want to go right here. You're not going to be using this at all. So you're going to go right here, and you're going to go all the way around. I prefer non-serrated, but if you got the sharp blade and then you got the serrated here, every now and again, when you go to cut a bone, you need some cutters. Gonna need some cutters for this. That serrated part will actually come of use, but you don't want the whole knife to be that way. Otherwise, it just doles out really fast. It's hard to sharpen. It's not as clean. You want a really sharp knife, and I'm thoroughly impressed with this so far. And so anyway, as you can see here, we got that all the way around. Gonna do it on this side. Yep. Nice. Okay. Beautiful. Now, you're gonna follow up where this white part meets the brown, and you're buttoning up a shirt or something, or I don't know what kind of expression I was just trying to use there, but basically it just slides just like that, like a zipper, slides right on up. Ooh, y'all see that? That's some ticks right there. See her arm here? Let me get a zoom in on that. It's pretty nasty, but sadly it's just a normal thing when, you know, with wild animals. I mean, even cows can have ticks on them and stuff, but she's got a little infestation of ticks right here under her right arm, about 5 of them in there. And of course, they won't have any effect on the meat or anything like that. Anyway, see, this is gonna slide apart from the meat in a little while, and the ticks they don't ever touch the meat or have any effect on it whatsoever. But I'm sure that, as annoying of a pest as they are, the deer probably felt them there in some way and was definitely uncomfortable with them. Or, you know, she may not have noticed them. I don't know how deer's feelings are in relation to ticks, honestly. I'm not gonna act like I do. But for those of you that don't know, they're a very, very dangerous bug. They're probably one of the most dangerous bugs in existence. And they're disease spreaders. They can kill you. All kinds of diseases that they can spread. But gotta be careful. I mean, literally people will get a tick on them, and because of their saliva, you don't usually know that they're on you, right? Well, they're so bad for you that usually within the first 24 to 48 hours of one being on you, if you haven't noticed it when you take a shower or whatever, you'll start getting headaches, you'll start feeling really sick, you'll get fevers and stuff, and that's without getting a disease from it. I mean, they totally spread diseases, so gotta watch out for ticks. And honestly, I would say anytime you clean a deer, because see, there's one right there. Anytime you clean a deer or any animal out of the wild, make sure that you are very clean and careful with the meat, and that you check your body for ticks when you're taking a shower after you clean these guys, because most of the time, at least your hands or some part of your body's gonna get blood on it and guts, and you're gonna want to change clothes. Certainly gonna want to take a shower. And I'm just saying, whenever you go to do that, definitely double check for ticks. These things are bad. All right. Now, do you see what we're doing here? Now, we're about to actually take a break from this. And really, we didn't have to do this now, but there's been so many times in the past that because I didn't do that step right there first, I get down to it, I'm like, oh crap, and then I've got all this hide hanging down on top of it, so it's better to just go ahead and get that done and out of the way. It'll save you some time later. Now we're gonna do the same thing that we just did to those two up here on the top two. Gonna go all the way around on both. Okay, I can't stress enough how careful that you have to be with doing this, and this is why. This pulley system makes this whole thing so much easier, as I explained before. The only way that the pulley system really works properly is when you're able to run one of these hangers through this ligament right here. It's in between. There's a perfect spot on both sides that you cut about 2 inches into. Worked out, no problem. But when you're going around this, this is bone in the bottom of the leg, and this is that ligament right here. And it's actually very fragile, and it can be cut by a knife. So if you're not extra careful when you go to pull the fur down from, or the hide down from the spot, if you accidentally cut that, the whole thing comes down. Like it'll go lopsided, and then usually it'll all just mess up. It's really hard at that point to restabilize it, so you never want to accidentally cut one of these. Otherwise, you might be skinning it while it's on the ground. There's not a whole lot of stuff like that with these guys that you have to be really careful of, but with that, totally. Gotta watch out for that big time, guys. So here's that ligament. Gotta be careful. This is a really sharp knife. Definitely don't want to cut too much of it. Just enough to where the outside fur is separated from the ligament all the way around. And you want to make sure that you do that on both the leg itself with the bone and then this ligament. See how they split? We almost got it right here. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is grab this puppy after we get a couple more of these in there. I'll probably speed through some of these things to make the video a little bit easier to watch. Or maybe I can post one that's sped up and then one that's real time, because some people might like hearing me talk. I don't know. I know I like it. I'm just kidding. Not really. All right. So I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, you can. So we're gonna be going down like this towards the butthole, like so. I actually wanted a little bit closer up here, so I'm gonna have to get this going the right direction here, but that's not any problem at all. There we go. Got it. All right. Yeah, I think that their breeding time's about to start. I smell something different on her. I think that's the doe estrus that they put out whenever they go into heat and the rut starts. All right, now we're about ready to be able to pull this thing down. Just a second. All right. Ooh. All right. Now, once you're able to get like a solid grip, because that's what you're looking for with this. Once you're able to get a solid grip like this, you can just go, and it just starts tearing down nice and easy. You don't want to tear it too far like that. You want to try to be consistent all the way around the animal. So we got that. Now we're gonna start working on this other side over here as we move our way in to the butthole, which is one of the most difficult steps in this process, and definitely my personal least favorite. I don't know, honestly, how you could enjoy doing this part. To me, it's certainly the most difficult, but it has to be done, so I'll just go ahead and do it now. You're gonna have to cut out both the vagina and the butthole at the same time here. You basically would perform the same kind of cut on a male deer as well, but you want to be careful not to bust or cut through the inner stomach linings or intestines, and to make clear, precise cuts through the hide like so, while still keeping both of the other holes intact, or in the case of a male, it's junk. In other words, you don't want to be accidentally cutting into its nutsack or wiener, whatever. Alright, so we've got that clear cut all the way around. That is actually what we're looking for. That turned out good, solid. I've messed that up plenty of times, especially when I was first learning how to do this on my own, but if you mess up, you know, the good news is it's not the end of the world. The meat is totally still good. So you might want to wash it off extra well if you get any kind of deer pee on there. Soak it in water and everything before you freeze it. But we will continue on here. So far, looking good. Well, I'm going to start up here real quick and continue this leg. A little behind on the time. I'm not used to recording this. If I'm really in the zone, and this is my first one of the season, I mean, once you know how to do it and you get it locked in, you just know how to do it. So it's not like I'll forget how, but you know, if you have a good season and you've gotten a couple, sometimes you can get on a roll, and by the 4th or 5th deer you've killed that year, you're just knocking them out. But in this case, it's been about a year since I've cleaned one, and I'm also doing this video for you guys, so trying to take extra time to explain things that usually I would just be, you know, knocking out quickly. Wow, I'm very, very impressed with this knife. Jeez Louise, True Blade. It's pretty incredible. That is a non-paid promotion, y'all. Got this for Christmas. Very impressed with how it's how well it's working. I mean, it is sharp. It is super, super sharp. It's got a good feel to it. It hasn't even slightly started dulling up yet. So this will probably be my go-to skinning knife and just overall hunting knife for a while. I've got some special ones my dad's given me over the years, and it'd be probably better to use a name brand one like this and keep those safe, you know, and stored to pass on to my kids, or just, you know, prevent them from getting lost or something, and use something like this than to risk losing any of my dad's stuff that he's given me over the years. I got a really nice knife that he brought back from Rome, I think. I don't know how he managed to do that. I guess it was before 9/11. It's nice. And then he's given me several old-timer knives over the years. So you can see what we've got going on here. Believe it or not, it might look like we are taking a long time and we still got a while to go, but that's actually not the case. We have gotten through some of the more difficult steps, getting this thing up in the first place, and the butthole and everything. Once we make this incision here, everything just kind of goes really quick after that and comes together, because all the guts are going to go into a 5-gallon barrel or bucket that I highly recommend you get. Otherwise, it's going to be hard moving the guts and stuff, guys. Did shoot her with a shotgun, so. Y'all know I gotta be silly sometimes. But that is not silly, that's just straight nasty. It's just straight up nasty, boy. Disgusted animal.
come on, friend. Come on, get out there. Go.
Got it. That might be the cleanest one I've ever gotten out. That was butthole and vagina. Completely gone. Look at that. Oh, probably see me through the butthole. Look. Hey, that's right through. No poo, no pee. We'll get the other side just for fun here. I see ya. That's not AI, baby. That's a right through there. That's crazy. Actually, let's go though. We got this. Making some good time, ladies and gents.
There you go. Oh, keep it going now. Keep it going.
It's going good. So, hopefully you guys have paid attention and seen everything so far. So far, everything went well, especially that hard part with getting the butthole and vagina out of there. And like I said, same process basically if you're doing a male, but really it's just something that you have to learn. Also, random fact, deer fat is not good tasting. So, it doesn't matter if the deer has fat on it or not, it's not something that you want to keep. If you're gonna make burger out of venison, which is another name for deer meat, venison, then you want to use pork fat or something from a different kind of animal, not deer. Now, I personally try to avoid eating pork because that was at one point God's list of no things to eat, which was a lot of different things, including, you know, lobster and crabs and oysters and all kinds of different seafood. But regardless of if you're a believer that changed with Peter's dream in the book of Acts in the New Testament, or if you totally think that we should be eating how the Israelites once ate back in the Old Testament, which I actually have a little clip of Daniel chapter 1 where he has to refuse to eat certain things because of King Nebuchadnezzar. But anyway, what was my point? That regardless of what your views are, the truth is the truth, and that is that at least at one point, God did want / require his people to eat based on a certainly, as they used to say, biblically clean diet that is approved by God, and pork was not on that thing. So I don't think God really makes mistakes, and he often doesn't change his mind, if you know what I'm saying. So there was a reason behind that, and they're finding, you know, that excess amounts of pork is linked to gout and now even dementia and all kinds of things. So I'm not saying avoid it like the plague. I'm not saying that it's poison. I'm surely not saying you're going to go to hell if you eat pork. But I am saying that that was a commandment of God not to do at a certain point. And it may be something worth looking into and praying about, you know, because God wants control really of every aspect of your life, of our lives, including down to the very things that we eat. And maybe there's something in your diet, whether it be sodas or certain kind of meat or lack of a certain thing, that God does want you to have, and maybe it would make you feel better and more sustained throughout the day and have more energy. But if you're not praying to him or keeping up your relationship with him, then you're never going to find out those little things that he would sometimes ask of us. That was a weird sound, huh? That's a good piece of meat. the back strap. This is very important because I would argue that for most people, it's the most important part of the whole deer as far as the eating comes to. So you see that shotgun blast, the internal damage it did. That deer did not suffer, I'll tell you that. It was dead quickly. See that shot? It did not last long from that. Now that's where it blew out. So I mean, it got boom, connected right through here, bam, out that way, dead within seconds. Now the reason that this is better is because instead of a cow being kept in a cage and having a confined life, and that whole animal being used to go to McDonald's or being overcharged prices at Walmart, whatever, you're getting your own animal out of God's creation, and you're getting your own meat for your family. And not only are you not having to spend a dime to do that, but it tastes really just as good, and I think it's even better for you. And the animal, if you're a good enough hunter and you make sure you know what you're doing, is not going to suffer, and it gets to live a free life in the wild like intended. And the beauty of it is, even for all those who are really for like animal rights activists and they're completely against animals dying and they hate videos like this, this saves lives. And that's not me patting myself on the back. That's not me trying to say that I'm any hero. But when these things get overpopulated, children get killed every year in car accidents, driving to Orlando to go on a Disney World trip, and boom, deer jumps out in the way. I mean, tons of people have died because of deer being overpopulated. So if you're hating on me because of this, and you're not factoring that into the equation, and then to take it a step further, you're feeling bad for the animal, but basically not being sympathetic whatsoever to A, the truth of the Word of God, but a lot of people don't really care about that nowadays. So B, the fact that people have died from these guys being overpopulated. So what am I doing that harms anybody? The truth is, I'm not doing anything that harms us all. If anything, I'm doing something that's good for the environment, that's good for me, myself, my family. It's approved by God. It's better for me to eat. So I really try to stick to getting my food supply as often as possible from God's natural wilderness, not from the store. Because what happens if the store stops selling? What happens if you just can't go to Walmart, guys, and buy yourself some meat? If Walmart just closes down one day? Just think about that for a second. Do you even own a gun to be able to try and go kill an animal? Like even just a BB gun, at least with that you can get a squirrel. When you starve, whoo, Americans don't know what it's like to starve, like our ancestors did when they fought each other, or when they fought the British to make this country. And I'm not talking about just white people. I'm talking about people as well, that their backs were used to build this country. Everybody that's had any kind of hand in making it, from the president to the slave, everybody in the history of this place, they used to know how to do this stuff. And now it's just a knowledge that's not known. And they knew what it was like to go through hardships, and knew what it was like to go to bed hungry. If you don't know what that's like, you need to thank your mom and dad or the foster care system that you're in for allowing you to have a meal to eat every day. Because when you have to rely on yourself and God to go get your food, everything changes. And relying on yourself, or relying on the Lord to provide this, and knowing what to do to get something like this, is a skill that is a necessity to have in the time of the end. And it can start just like that at any moment, any point in time. Okay, So that actually is a good thing to segue into the next point here. Oh, come on. I do save some parts of the deer that a lot of people don't. They might think that it's gross or weird. I've had both of those reactions, gross and weird. But I definitely keep the heart of the deer. It's one of my favorite parts of the animal. It's very good to eat. Nothing wrong with that at all. Okay. And then the liver. Keep the liver. A couple ways you can prepare that, but that's another thing. And then this is the one that's gonna freak people out. I know it. It's actually probably my favorite part of the animal, and I'm kind of skeptical to share it. I've shared it with people before and been hardcore judged, but then again, I don't really care what people think. It's less of that and more of the fact that I care more about my sermons and spreading the gospel. I'm not trying to deter anybody from the rest of my content because they hear one-off thing that I say in this. But the brain, there's a specific way that you can prepare it, and it is unless there's another way, it's probably the only way that you can prepare it. But man, if you do it right, it's my favorite by far. And this is gonna sound weird, but this is actually it. This is not me trolling or anything. And if you want, I guess I could make another video of me getting the brain out, because it involves literally like the movie Scarface, chainsawing into the deer's skull and digging out the brain with a spoon. I know it sounds crazy, but anyway, you do it and then you fry it with a couple of eggs, a couple fried eggs. You just fry it and scramble it, and the consistency ends up being the exact same as a scrambled egg, and it adds a lot of extra flavor, and it's insanely good for you. It's so good for you. It's protein, but it's like some kind of protein that the brain gives you, and you can't really get that same exact kind of protein from just normal meat. But either way, it's protein, it's good for you. It goes good with eggs. It's like a treat for me. I always try to save the brain if I can, but time is of the urgency with that, because the brain is susceptible to rot fairly quickly, and if you don't start skinning the deer very shortly after you get it, the brain is not worth fooling with. That's how you can get diseases and crap if you're not careful. But we cook our food the way we're supposed to. We clean our food properly. So everything that we've gotten on this property is good to go. Sorry guys, I'm tired. It was Christmas a couple days ago, and then my dad's birthday was yesterday. I was up fairly late last night, and then of course I've been fooling with this now for a minute, so definitely gonna be sleeping well tonight. That is for sure. Now, I kind of did a poor butcher job with the hide towards the end, but you can do this process the exact same way that I did, and I'll show you guys some of the deer hides that I've done doing the same way. But you just consistently go down with the hide and don't get sloppy with it like I did, and then you can keep the whole hide. And I'll make a video on that one day too. But today I'm just trying to get the meat off this girl and get it on ice before sundown. Thank you, Lord. And the guts are going into this 5-gallon bucket. That is a nasty ass pouch. WTF. I think the shotgun blast got this one extra good. Ooh yeah. Big time. That is straight up nasty. And I'm about to have a mess on my hands if I'm not careful. I already do kind of have a mess. There we go. Sometimes you can save the ribs on these O's, but not with this one though, because oh hell no. No sir, that's nasty. I just want to get my liver and my heart out of here, please. Thank you. Oh, hell no. That is pure diarrhea that just burst into my face. That was disgusting as pouch. Oh my goodness, oh my dang, oh my goodness, they going ham. Oh my goodness, oh my dang, oh my goodness, they going ham. This is how bacon is supposed to be. Flies, thiners, and the cheese up in here is going ham. Down, 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 down. Ooh, get yourself that double cheeseburger. Dang, dang, dang. There's the there's the heart, the Indiana Jones style. Nah. I think there's some freaking blood that splattered on my face or some diarrhea or something from earlier, but there's the heart, and that is very good to eat. Prime time. Like I said, that deer fat's nasty. You don't want that on there. So whatever you can go ahead and get off now, you can get off. But we're almost done. Got pretty much everything that we want out of here except for the last two legs and the brain, because we are not going to be keeping this rib cage this time around. So let me put this up and this liver. We're almost done here. Y'all hear that, right? Yeah, that's a squirrel. Just making that sound. It'd be cool if I could get one and just as a bonus, show y'all how to skin a squirrel in this video. But if you were gonna get the rib cage off this, what you would do next is get those cutters and cut down the center and cut the sides off, each bone at a time, all the way down. But we're not gonna be doing that. We are, however, going to be extracting the back strap. If you get carried away, sometimes you can forget the most important part, which is this back strap here. It's definitely the prized meat that everyone goes after and likes. Ouch. Ouch. Gosh, dude, I haven't said that word probably in a long, well, I mean, I know I said it in this video, but I haven't said ouch in forever. I used to say that all the time. Ow, that hurt, man. I literally stabbed myself in the thumb. This knife is incredibly well put together and very, very sharp. True blade. Y'all don't play around with your product. I love it. I love it. Look at this. Right off the animal, no problem at all. I think I stabbed myself pretty bad. Imagine if the very, very sharp tip of this just like right in the tip of your finger real quick. That's what happened. This is what you're looking for with this back strap now. I don't know what other people do to extract or how you even would. Some of this is turning into hamburger meat in here from where the shotgun blew her up. Yeah, see how it's ripped right there? That's where the part of that shotgun tore through. Yeah, I mean, look at what that shotgun did to that now. That's beautiful, but it's usually this long, so this is the correct length. But you can see right there, that's not a bad cutting job, y'all. That's what the shotgun did. This is the cutting job. A couple of times I may have, you know, marked it a little bit, but this got freaking blown to bits from that buckshot. So we got one more on the other side here. We are really, really close to being done now. I think I've been probably saying that the whole video. So I don't even know how long it's been going at this point, but I'll do one that's sped up, probably without audio. And then I'll do a normal length one. Because if I put all the clips together, including the ones from earlier, when I was gonna take that live feed, and all the times that I accidentally stopped the recording when I was trying to find a spot for the phone and doing the fire, there's probably at least an hour's worth of video right now of me working on this thing and talking. If I'm going really fast and I'm in the zone, especially if I've already gotten a couple that year, and if I'm not distracted with somebody or making a YouTube video like this, I can get them done in about 30 or 40 minutes. But it's always good to take your time with these, because rushing, well, I mean, what's the point? You finally got your kill, you got the meat to put in the freezer. Why would you start rushing at the last step and potentially ruin good meat or mess something up? There's just no need for it. Now, you do need to get to the animal in a timely manner. If you wait too long after you kill it, the meat will go bad, and then it'll all be ruined. So when I say don't rush, I mean don't do a bad cutting job. Don't fly through the thing like senselessly, you know? Take your time with it. And that is how that's supposed to go right there for the other back strap. Beautiful. And that's just a big old delicious piece of tender meat, man. Okay, now we're at the end here, so I'm gonna get this knife upwards like that on both sides towards the center here. You'll see the spine and a spot right in here on both sides. There we go. There we go. A little more on that. There we are. Now that you got that, you want to get the cutters. Like that. Alright. Now you got the last two pieces. This is going to be your biggest portion of meat on the animal. Not the best portion. It's the biggest. The best is the back strap. But this is probably the next closest thing if you're not counting the heart and brains, in my opinion. But you know, for the normal person, they're gonna want that back strap because that's what it's known for being the best. And then you got these big pieces of meat here right on the back, which are the back hams, of course. And this is gonna be where you get the majority of your meat from, like I said. So we just need to get this guy. We're gonna go upwards through here like this, and then you get one more on the other side like this, and then there's one on the bottom. So you'll have to hit probably both sides. Okay, now you've got where the actual leg down in there connects to the spine. You're gonna want to do that for the other leg as well. We're almost done. See, I started rushing and I just accidentally effed up that big old chunk of meat right there. So that just goes to show it's never worth rushing, y'all. Alright, remember I said that leg bone, that's the last two. They are an easy break, but if you've never done it before, you want to go nice and solid all the way through. Nice solid break is what you're looking for, like that. And you're going to hit this up. My thumb is still hurting me from where that knife went in. But that was on me. They make a good knife. Very good knife. Alright. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's looking good. I like it. I like it a lot. That's exactly what we're looking for, y'all. That's all, folks. Well, almost all. So you're gonna finally now cut that ligament. Now that you can, see what it'll do. That will happen to the whole deer if you accidentally cut that ligament before the appointed time, which is at the very, very end. Till then, you don't want to cut that ligament. That's gonna screw you up big time if you do. I mean, it'll kill you. I'm just kidding about that. But yeah, you don't want to accidentally cut that, because it will make the whole process way harder. So, and then we've got, lay this right here for just a second. Last piece. Les mes compétents. See. Okay. Oh, saved it. And that is how, my friends, you clean a deer. I guess I will go ahead and make another video getting the brains out of this thing. And I'm gonna have to really, you know what? I'll do this. This will be my first one ever. That's a video that I just think would be freaking wild to post on YouTube. Because that's not only admitting that I eat deer brains, which is pretty crazy, but actually doing it on camera, or at least chainsawing into the thing to get the brains out. That's gonna have to be something that I get enough attention in this video for to actually post, because that might not be something people want to see. And if it is, y'all gotta let me know, and then I guess I'll post it. Because I mean, I'll do it. I'm gonna do it with this deer, and I'll even record it, I guess. But posting it, I don't know. Will YouTube even allow that? That just seems kind of insane, and it looks crazy too, by the way. Imagine the Scarface scene with the chainsaw, except somehow worse, way worse. So then with your 5-gallon, and put this back in there, all your hide and all your stuff. Then you just go dump it in the nearest body of water, legally, of course. Now I'm gonna be getting the brain out of this here in a second, so I'm gonna have to bring the chainsaw out here and right through there, go straight off the top. Got caught, killed that. Alright. Love y'all. Hope that this helps somebody. Don't forget, if they kill the electricity on us or the internet, you need to know where your closest fresh water source is. Save videos like this on your phone. Even if it's not me doing it, it don't matter to me. But you need to know how to skin a deer. And you won't be able to access the internet to look up a video on the day that you need it, so have a good night.